We're now going to hear from His Excellency Ano Pala, who's the Minister for National Planning of Papua New Guinea, to make his presentation. I thank the Minister for being here.
Thank you, Your Excellency Ambassador Bob Roy, President of the Economic and Social Council, distinguished delegates and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and the people of Papua New Guinea, I bring warm greetings from the Pacific region and reaffirm our deep and enduring commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, a shared global promise we made as members of this UN family. Mr. President, Papua New Guinea is pleased to present in person for the first time its second voluntary national review since the last one done virtually in 2020 during the COVID-19 epidemic. This year is especially significant for us. We mark 50 years of unbroken democracy and independence, a remarkable journey of nationhood and resilience. We have remained a united, vibrant, and unbroken democracy for 50 years, yet defined by our unique diversity in peoples, cultures, traditions, languages, biodiversity, and topography, which is our strength. While we have made meaningful and measured progress on several SDGs targets, especially in areas such as health, education, and infrastructure, we acknowledge that much more needs to be done to meet the full ambitions of the 2030 Agenda. This second voluntary national review is not only a reflection on what we have achieved together, it is also a call to deepen our partnership over the next 5 years and beyond. We thank our bilateral and multilateral development partners, including the United Nations systems, civil society organizations, and the private sector, who continue to work with us. Your contributions have been instrumental in our progress. We further encourage this partnership, but one that strengthens our own national leadership and ownership to drive our sustainable developments. As we look ahead, our national ambition is bold but realistic: to double the size of our economy, ensure that the benefits of growth are broad-based and inclusive, and to align all development efforts with the principle of leaving no one behind. To achieve this, we are working towards strengthening data systems and development coordination, investing in local and inclusive institutions, responsible financing and innovation, enhancing cooperation with both traditional and emerging development partners. Mr. President, following my presentation, we will have the video address by my Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape, on Papua New Guinea's second voluntary national review, and we look forward to the interactive dialogue after the presentation. In closing, I extend Papua New Guinea's sincere appreciation to the chair of the session, the United UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, for their valued support, and acknowledge and congratulate all VNR presenting countries, and for the partners and friends present here today. Papua New Guinea reaffirms our strong commitment to the SDGs attainment. Let us continue to work together in solidarity and action to make the final 5 years of this global agenda the most transformation yet. Thank you.
delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is a profound honor to present Papua New Guinea's second voluntary national review on the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Papua New Guinea celebrates 50 years of independence this year. This Golden Jubilee is not only a milestone of nationhood, but also a strong reminder of the country's resilience and commitment to building a just, equitable, and sustainable future.
Today we reflect on the progress made since our first voluntary national review in 2020. This year Papua New Guinea marks 50 years of unbroken democracy and independence since 1975. The SDGs provide critical benchmarks as we shape our next chapter towards a more inclusive, resilient and sustainable nation for all our people and our children.
Since 2020, Papua New Guinea has made important gains across several sustainable development goals. Public investment in social sectors, for instance, rose from 12% in 2020 to 20% in 2024. There has been poverty reduction through social protection, rural infrastructure, and access to finance. In health, underweight prevalence among children dropped significantly, while maternal health services were strengthened under the National Health Plan.
Blood pressure
Health is the heartbeat of our national development, particularly as we recover and rebuild from the COVID-19 travesty and pandemic. We have lowered under 5 mortality from 60 to 58 per 1,000 life beds. We have reduced malaria incidences and improved ART coverage under our new HIV strategy and strengthened immunization, family planning and community-based health care. We acknowledge persistent challenges remain, particularly in rural areas where health services remain uneven. To build a more resilient health system, we are rehabilitating rural health infrastructure, one that truly leaves no one behind.
I'd like you to name the structure, okay? Name the structure. It has a double bond, all right?
Gender equality is fundamental to our national development. Whilst we have made important strides, gender inequality, especially in rural areas, continues to pose a serious challenge. As we look to 2030, our focus remains clear: eliminate gender-based violence and build a society where every woman and girl can equally thrive. Our economy has long depended on extractive industries. Whilst this is important, we are actively diversifying to promote inclusive, broad-based growth. Agriculture sustains over 75% of our population thus far, but at present contributes only 13% to GDP. To address this imbalance, we are investing heavily in agriculture. We have also launched the National Employment Policy 2021 to 2031, reduce unemployment and empower women and youth entrepreneurs. Sea is not only a resource, but a way of life. It is central to our identity, our economy, and our future. We are home to the 4th largest coral reef system and some of the Pacific's most pristine mangrove ecosystems. We are tackling illegal and unreported and unregulated fishing through regional corporations and national enforcement to protect the health and resilience of a shared ocean for generations to come.
Papua New Guinea's progress is rooted in a whole-of-society collaboration that includes civil society, the private sector, development partners, and academic institutions, which all play key roles and sustainable development outcomes.
Excellency, we recognize that strong partnerships, both global and national, are essential to achieving the SDGs. May God bless our collective efforts and guide us on the path towards a more just, resilient, and sustainable world for all our children.
I thank the government of Papua New Guinea for that presentation. I will thank the delegate from Israel. I now call upon the representative from Australia to be followed by Czechia.
Thank you very much, and can I also just thank the countries Czechia, Papua New Guinea and Israel for their presentations and the very strong work that's been undertaken towards achieving the SDGs, while I think also really recognising the ongoing work necessary to ensure that we sustain efforts to achieve the SDGs by 2030. My question is to Australia's nearest neighbour and our largest development partner, Papua New Guinea. Minister Pala, Your Excellency, could the Government of Papua New Guinea please share more details on the challenges encountered in tracking and reporting gender-related progress? And additionally, what policy reforms, institutional capacity building, or data system enhancements are you pursuing to strengthen the implementation and monitoring of SDG 5 going forward? Thank you.
I thank the representative from Ethiopia. Turn now to India and the Dominican Republic, followed by the NGO Major Group.
Thank you, Chair. I congratulate delegations of Czechia, Papua New Guinea and Israel for presenting their VNRs. I have questions for all three countries. My question to Papua New Guinea is as follows. Can the government of Papua New Guinea elaborate on how it is leveraging ICT and digital technology to accelerate progress on SDGs, particularly in improving service delivery, data collection and access to information? Additionally, where challenges or gaps persist in the ICT capacity or digital infrastructure, what strategies or partnerships are being pursued to address these shortfalls?
I now turn to the Education and Academia Stakeholder Group, who are making, because of the distance they had to come to be here, are giving us a presentation by video.
Warm greetings from the South Pacific. Civil society welcomes PNG government decision to participate in this, its second VNR. We also welcome its attempt to integrate SDGs in its medium-term development plans. Unfortunately, there is insufficient budgetary detail to allow us to fully understand how it is achieving its targets or measuring progress. PNG is in debt crisis, with debt servicing currently running at 11% of budget, greater than the entire spending for the health sector. Meanwhile, the country's major hospitals are facing a shortage of medicines and inability to offer quality care. What is the government plan to provide better support to hospitals and increase the health budget? PNG has performed poorly on tackling corruption. With a dysfunctional independent commission against corruption, ICAC did not bring a single high-profile case to court. What is the government plan to review and support a truly independent ICAC to bring more cases to court? Following COVID and cost of living crisis, the government funded a SME program through financial institutions. This favored organization most able to passing stringent bank lending requirements. What plans does the government have to ensure this and future development programs reach the poorest? Education system is in crisis. Recent education reform has meant the dismissal of elementary school teachers. Infrastructure has been neglected for years, with an insufficient number of classrooms for expanded enrollment leading to student-teacher ratio of 50:1 or worse. The government has done virtually nothing to make inclusive education happen, passing responsibility to private institutions and NGOs. PILNA and local CSOPIAN's review have found a nationwide shortage of learning materials experienced by 80% of students. Two-thirds of learners suffering from absentee teachers and only 20% of students with their own literacy materials. So what is the government doing to tackle the funding crisis in education, and when will the budget be increased sufficiently to tackle these problematic areas. Thank you.
Thank the Education and Academia Stakeholder Group. I now, our friends from Czechia. Please, yes? You have 5 minutes.
Mr. President, thank you. Let me thank our distinguished delegates from India, Indonesia, and Australia for your questions. We will respond to each of the questions from those distinguished delegates. Let me start by responding to the question from a distinguished delegate from India in relation to how Papua New Guinea is leveraging on ICT and digital technologies. Papua New Guinea recognized the critical role of ICT and digital technologies in accelerating progress towards the SDG, particularly in improving public service delivery, enhancing data collection, and expanding access to information. While our government remains firmly committed to this agenda, we acknowledge that significant capacity infrastructure challenges persist, particularly in rural and remote areas. Addressing these gaps will require sustained support from all stakeholders. We have made some meaningful progress in deploying key infrastructure such as fiber optic cabling and mobile towers, particularly in urban and peri-urban areas. However, connectivity in rural and remote regions remain unlimited, particularly currently about only 60% of our population has internet access, and the cost of internet and digital services remains relatively high, posing a barrier to inclusion. In terms of data for SDG monitoring and reporting, we continue to face challenges with systems ability, capacity gaps, and data availability, particularly at the sub-national level. As reflected in our VNR, many indicators remain unreported or partially reported due to data limitations. To address these gaps, we are seeking to strengthen partnership with all stakeholders and technical partners to enhance digital infrastructure and last-mile connectivity, improve the capacity and integration of national and sub-national data systems, expand digital literacy and workforce skills, and increase investment in open data platforms and real-time reporting tools. For SDG monitoring, India has strong capacity in these areas, and we have had a collaborative project in the past. We welcome any opportunity to further collaborate with you and other partners on shared solutions and learn from your best practice that can help us bridge this digital divide and accelerate our progress towards the 2030 agenda. In response to the question from the distinguished delegate of Indonesia on the governance framework, Papua New Guinea has made deliberate efforts to align the SDG with our national development and budgetary frameworks. The SDGs are fully integrated into our medium-term development plans, which serve as the government's 5-year rolling medium-term development strategy. These plans guide sectoral and sub-national planning with all provinces and districts expected to align the development priorities accordingly and report progress against nationally defined targets. Despite these efforts, we continue to face challenges in implementation and reporting at the sub-national level. The challenges are linked to capacity constraints, limited coordination and mechanisms, and even institutional readiness across districts. To address this, we are progressively introducing digital reporting platforms at the sub-national level to improve real-time data capture, monitoring, and reporting. Indonesia's experience in development planning and implementation at sub-national level has valuable lessons for us. We welcome further opportunities for bilateral exchange and peer learning, and looking forward to working together to accelerate SDG implementation in our region. Finally, in response to the question from the distinguished delegate of Australia, on the outset, we thank the government of Australia for its continued support and generous financial and technical support to Papua New Guinea's development priorities, including its strong commitment to advancing gender equality and SDG SDG 5. Australia has been a valued partner in both policy development and community-level initiatives, and we acknowledge with appreciation the ongoing bilateral cooperation in this space. Tracking and reporting on gender-related progress still remains a challenge, shaped in part by Papua New Guinea's cultural diversity and some deeply embedded social norms. For example, women continue to bear a disproportionate burden of unpaid domestic work, and rates of gender-based violence remain a significant concern. The representation of women in political decision-making remains low. While this remains a persistent challenge, we do have enabling legislative and policy framework in place, including the National Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Policy, aimed at increasing women's participation in public life and leadership. A political voice, as well as in bipartisan parliamentary committee on GBV, which is a political voice on GBV and gender equality. We recognize the data equality and disaggregation, particularly at subnational level, continues to be a timing limiting factor in monitoring SDG 5. To address this, we are working with development partners and national institutions to build institutional capacity for gender responsive planning and reporting, strengthen the national statistical system, including through the disaggregation of data by sex, age, location, and enhance coordination between line agencies, civil society, and provincial administration to improve data flows and accountability. We remain committed to working closely with partners, including Australia, to build a robust monitoring system and foster greater local partnership of gender equality initiatives. Continued support in this area will be critical to ensuring we make meaningful and sustained progress towards SDG 5 in the years ahead. I thank you.
I thank the representative from Papua New Guinea